Hello, hello, successful souls. We made it. We are here on another episode of the Spiritual Success Podcast. In fact, this is episode 85. What? We are moving along. Okay, so today's gonna be pretty fun because this one is a dedicated episode. Again, we love to connect with the members of our Facebook group. We're now over 4,500 members. Ladies who are CEOs, entrepreneurs, executives, and of course, powerhouse mamas. Regardless of not if you're the CEO of a business, you are the CEO of your life. And I say it often, but it's very true. I don't want to be on the show talking about what I think you want to hear. I want to talk about what I know you want to hear. So how do we do this? We connect with you. We talk to you. My community manager, Abby, is there to reach out to you, to learn more about you, to handpick resources for you and hear what you want to learn more about. So if we don't have a resource ready, then that's what we're going to do to create one. So very recently, I actually connected on a connection call with an amazing member of our Facebook group, Amanda Tobinski. So hi, Amanda. This one is for you, mama. Just so you all know, Amanda is amazing at Facebook ads. She's like the queen. She's also starting some new ventures that I'm very excited about. I'll keep it on the DL just in case she's not big yet, but I just want to say go for it. I totally believe in you. And if you have a calling, this isn't just for Amanda, anybody, if you have that calling, it's not going to go anywhere. So feed it, feed your beast, starve your doubt, and go for it. So what Amanda was interested in learning more about is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's called the law of assumption. So today's episode is all about the law of assumption, how it changed my life, and what you can do to start working with it so it's not working against you. Okay, so I discovered one day walking in Barnes & Noble, looking for a new metaphysical book, this really small, very plain book just called to me. I put my hand out and I felt fireworks in my hand. Zing, 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 zing. And I just knew I had to get it. Never heard of this person before, but now I have read all of his works. One of my favorite metaphysicians, Neville Goddard. Now I talk about him often because, like I said, he's one of my favorites. And in fact, inside the Spiritual Success Experience, my program where I work with my clients on mastering mindset, meditation, metaphysics, and of course, manifestation, we have a whole session where we talk about one of his works called The Power of Awareness. Now, The Power of Awareness talks all about the law of assumption. So my brand, Inner Feminine Beast, is really inspired by the power of awareness and the law of assumption. So Inner Feminine Beast, it's not just something to sound cute, although I love how the little ring to it. It's the embodiment of my soul. When we talk about your brand, what does that mean exactly? It is a promised experience. It's what people know they're going to get each and every time with you. And when you're your authentic self, you really start to earn the trust of other people because they can rely on you because you're a promised experience. So when I talk about Inner Feminine Beast, this is my branding because it's the embodiment of my soul. It's who I am. Again, you have an Inner Feminine Beast. That is a version of you that has the clarity, the power, the strength, and the courage to get things done and to see it through. It's your highest self. Now, here's what's really cool. Let's go back to physics and high school when you were learning about Einstein. And you can recall him saying, nothing is created, nothing is destroyed. That means everything already exists. So that's really freeing. You don't actually have to create any of the things that you want. You just have to align with it. So I recall if you are in the car and you turn on an FM radio, you go to a certain station where you just love everything. You love the music, you love the host, they crack you up. You even like the commercials. You're like, holy crap, yes, how do they know I want to buy these things? But then you go to a different station, okay? And say it's, I don't know, you were 102 before. That's where you love everything. You receive it because you're on that frequency, right? Again, you don't see radio waves. They're just frequencies where you're receiving information. But if you're on a different station where you like none of the music, none of the hosts, definitely don't like the commercials, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay there and stay stuck? Or are you going to take action and change your frequency? Because your other station still exists, you just weren't aligned with it to receive that information. It's your job to be in control of your frequency, to tune in, tap into your higher frequency. So your Inner Feminine Beast already exists. She's already there, just like your favorite radio station. But if you want to receive like she does, live the life that she does, you need to go to her and be in alignment with her. So if nothing's created, nothing's destroyed, she already exists. She is like the highest version of you, which is, in my opinion, what I like to refer to as the end result. So instead of being stuck in the maze all the time, she's the version of you that's so high up that she's looking down and she can see clear paths. In fact, she's already been through the maze, so she can tell you each and every way to go. So when you tune in, tap in, and become able to control your thoughts so that you can hear her, because as soon as you ask, you'll receive. You just need to learn to surrender and hear the guidance, which again comes through disciplining and having a fierce meditation practice. But when you align with her, she already knows how to do all the things that you want to do. This version of you already exists. So what you do is, in order to really start living like her, you need to realize that there's a formula to success. Aligned thoughts plus aligned feelings plus aligned actions get you aligned results. She is living the life of the aligned results. So if you think like her, feel like her, act like her, you get to be her. So I want you to go to the end result now. What does the highest version of you do? How does she think? How does she speak? How did she wake up out of bed this morning? How did she eat her breakfast? Did she shove it down her throat or did she eat it on fine china? Big difference, right? How does she speak to the others around her? Did you serve someone today? Because she does. You know, do you maintain boundaries? Do you have standards? Do you understand that you go first and everybody else responds? You need to understand that you're not there to react. You're there to lead by example. And so when you act like this, think like this, and feel like this, you get to have the results of that. So really go to the end and think about what is the highest version of yourself and decide to be her now, not later, but now. Every day, ask yourself, what would IFB do? Am I acting like her? Because if not, do I expect to get the same results as her? No. Am I thinking like her? Then you're not going to get the results that she does if you're not. You have to feel like her. So I do things every day to raise my standards, to feel wealthier, to feel like more love in my life in order to create that. Remember, when you experience things in the physical, it is the last form of manifestation. Things have to come from the spiritual realm into the mental, then come into the physical. So you are allowed to manifest by playing with the mental and spiritual realm. Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. Picasso says, if you can, see it in your mind, it's real. How else are you experiencing it? Bob Proctor would say things like, if you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Get excited when you see something in your imagination. Don't say, oh, I can't have that. That doesn't make sense. The fact that you're imagining it already means you took it from the spiritual and hit it into the mental, which means you're in the newer phase of manifesting. Next is the physical. So when you use the law of assumption, you give yourself permission to go to the end result and play around, frolic, swim in the sea of possibilities, and take yourself there in your mind. When you were a child, you had such a big imagination. I have two boys, and I joke around and say there's nothing more powerful than two kids with, like, what do they call it? Wait, what do they call it? Oh my gosh. Bear with me. Lightsabers. Sorry, my kids are into Star Wars. I was going to say something else. Lightsabers. There's nothing more powerful than two kids with lightsabers because they're sitting there going, and I'm like, kids, hello. He's talking to you. Pay attention. And they're destroying the galaxy, taking over Darth Vader and working with Yoda and Luke Skywalker. They don't hear mommy because they're so in their imagination. But this is something as we get older that we forget. We're told that, you're just dreaming, that's not how it works. And unfortunately, that's false information. And that's what's conditioned us to be what we believe to be true. But it's not about learning something new. It's actually remembering. So working with your imagination, playing with your imagination is how things come here into the physical. Every single thing that came to the physical once started as a thought. So give yourself permission to play and to be what you want. So if you can go consistently enough into the thing that you want, into the state, take yourself there and experience it in your mind. What smells are you smelling? What taste would you be tasting? What would you be feeling? What would you be seeing? What would you be saying? What would you be wearing? And do this every single night. Now, here's the secret sauce. Neville recommends that you do this before you fall asleep because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is experiencing your daytime versus what you're experiencing in your dreams. And most often when you are thinking about something right before you fall to bed, sleep, to go to bed, you end up dreaming about that thing. So you're spending a lot of time in that feeling and sensation that it starts feeling like, this is possible. I could definitely do this. You convince your ego to simmer down and say, you know what? I can see this to be true. I feel that this is possible. And because that happens, it now becomes closer into your physical. So I have used the law of assumption to bring so many things into my physical reality. People, most definitely people, career opportunities, and even interesting enough, I talk about it. My Maserati. I remember sitting in my Mazda for so long, and I would use my fingers to trace the M, but I'd make it look like a Triton. But I would go there. I would smell the Italian leather. I would hear the purr of the engine. I would, feel the looks in the car. I would feel what a wealthy woman feels like because she earned it and deserved it. And it happened so much quicker. So definitely utilize the law of assumption and give yourself permission to say, instead of saying it's all going to go wrong, this doesn't feel right, there's no possible way, start telling yourself, well, what if it does? What if it does work out? And what would it feel like? The longer you can hold that state, that becomes your new radio station. That's where you start receiving. So if you want something to receive something different, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It's up to you to change the frequency of it. Because nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. You just have to be open to receiving. So how do you do that? Get in the frequency of thinking, feeling, and acting like you already have it. And that's how it comes into your physical. That's the law of assumption. It's giving yourself permission to play as if though you're already assuming that it's complete, that it's already yours. And hence Inner Feminine Beast, why she always says, own it, claim it. If you say it is, then so it is. And that's also why I always say, I know you can, you will, you are. In fact, in my mind, it's already done. That's me referring to the law of assumption, which again, I learned a lot through Neville Goddard. Acknowledge it, embrace it, see it through.
Hey, successful soul. Before you head to the next episode of Spiritual Success, be sure to come join me and other like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals in my Facebook group called Spiritual Success Sorority. Everyone is welcome. And if you're loving the show, you're going to love the group even more. There, I'll be engaging with you weekly in live shows, listening to your input for new weekly topics, and hosting exclusive workshops for members only. So if you're looking to really up-level your financial and personal success, meet me on over in the Spiritual Success Sorority Facebook group. See you on the inside.